today's meetup. I'm thrilled to see such a great turnout of people here today. My name is Vanessa, represents Forces, and I'm honored to be your host today. And thank you all for joining us today. We have an exciting agenda lined up for this afternoon. We have curated this event to strike a perfect balance between presentations and discussions. We are thrilled to see exciting collaborative ventures that may steal from exciting connection and new relationships from during this event, regardless of experience in Web3 space. Whether you are a coder or from a different profession, your voice is essential to us. The structure of this event is designed to foster collaborations among us to create the digital future of Ethereum. We rely on the multitude of ideas, perspectives, and the voices that each individual brings. We sincerely hope that you enjoy the event and take this opportunity to contribute to journey ahead. Thank you. Okay, now let's invite our first speaker, Aaron. He's from Planker DAO. He will introduce us to the Planker DAO. Okay.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Aaron, and I'm the director of Planker Community of the season. I'm truly delighted to welcome all of you to our meetup today. And, okay, can you help me change? Yeah. And Plan Community is a collaborative lab, primarily focused on Ethereum, aiming to shape a more prosperous digital future. We provide educational services and resources to developers, product engineers, and researchers. It's our collective efforts that powers the change, driving the growth and success of our community. Okay, sorry. Yeah. And our gathering today comes in the wake of Tuzalu event. After this event, fellow builders began to gradually recognize a broader vision of Ethereum. It's not just a work computer, but has also become a testing ground for human coordination. It's not just the words and the different ideas and theories are discussed in the Ethereum community, all with the ultimate aim to address the issue of human coordination. And we thought it is fitting to discuss at this point what exactly is the future of our industry. We hope that through this discussion, we can unite builders from all over the world to collectively build the digital future. The Planker community has already made some strides towards the future. Initiatives such as growth stable coins, a construction wallet, and ZKUM hardware acceleration will be introduced during this event. And now let's dive into our event's central theme, the digital future of Ethereum. The digital future, originating from Ethereum's vision, represents the anticipation of a possible state shaped by the technological advancement and digitization. The future, fueled by the blockchain, like 5G, VR, and more, is a realm where human activities are accurately mapped and efficiently executed in the digital future, in digital world. The digital future mentioned by Ethereum is just a part of the world of the future. It's underpinned by the power of decentralization and protocols. This force goes beyond individualities and sovereignties, laying down the framework for the digital world's rules, allowing for improved collaboration. As we look towards the future, it's important to remember that our collective efforts today, we actively shape tomorrow. We are not merely passive observers, but active participant in this transformative process. Each of us, with our unique skills and perspectives, contribute to the creation of more collaborative and equitable digital world. This principle of decentralization and protocols that Ethereum embodies us to create new rules and pave the way for innovation. So let us take the opportunity to learn, to collaborate, and to take the meaningful action. Let's continue to explore the depths of Ethereum's digital future and beyond, knowing that what we do today shapes the world of tomorrow. Oh, thank you. And I hope this meetup inspires all of us to continue to our collective digital future in a meaningful way. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron, and let us know more about Planker. Okay, now let's welcome our next speaker, Marvin from Yellow. He's a business analyst in the operation and development. Hi, Marvin.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us here. Do I just press? Oh. All right. So again, thank you for inviting us to speak here. So I'm here to talk about Yellow. And Yellow is actually a company that has over 100 employees all over the world. We're headed by our CEO, Alexis Sirkia. If you know Alexis, he is one of the co-founders of GSR. GSR being one of the premier market makers in the industry. So we're being headed by Alexis, and we actually have a lot of different projects under Yellow. One of the main projects that we have is in Yellow Network, where we are building a layer 3 decentralized peer-to-peer network, where we aim to aggregate all the liquidity from across all exchanges. So this Yellow Network is something that is currently in development and coming out soon. We also have Yellow Capital. Yellow Capital focuses on venture capital and incubation of projects. We also provide market making as well as liquidity to our incubates and our partners. And lastly, we have Yellow Connect or Yellow Incubator. So this is a co-working space located in the heart of Niman. This is an area where we open to a lot of digital nomads, developers, and a lot of projects who are interested in the Web3. Just feel free to stop by Yellow, get to know a lot of other projects. We do hold weekly Web3 meetings in Yellow, as well as other events. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marvin, for further enlightening us about Yellows. So next, welcome our next speaker, John, co-founders of Art ChiangMai.
Hello. That's the button, right? Boop. Oh. Oh, okay, let's go back. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Ho. I am the owner and the co-founder of Alt ChiangMai. It's a co-working and co-living space based in Chiang Mai. The reason why I'm here is, I suppose, because we're talking about communities, even though I'm not a Web3 specialist or anything. I do care about communities, and I'm happy to see there is a group of Web3 community here. So I guess I'll do a quick presentation about who we are and why we're here, what we're doing here. About 2 years ago, me and my partner from Hong Kong, plus my wife, decided to build a community-focused co-living and co-working space. Why do we need to do that? Because if you look at the traditional lodging facilities all across the world, they're usually more focused on the space itself or the services and all that. But we feel like with the progress of humanity and how remote work is becoming mainstream, we want to focus more on a space that kind of cultivates, that kind of facilitates human connections. So we built this place called, and also the problems of the world right now with people being lonelier and people want to travel more while they work. So then we decided to build this place called Alt. I'm just going to skip through these. So this is our space. So basically it's a 27 bedroom and a 30 working desk co-working, co-living space in ChiangMai, in the Old City. Has anyone been to the Old City? 1, 2, 3, cool. 4, okay. This is Neiman territory. I understand most people like to congregate here, but Old City is actually pretty cool, so come by and check us out. So basically, we renovated the space 2 years ago at the beginning of COVID. This is the site, and now it's kind of better and nicer, with more spaces and a community. So a lot of the digital nomads, remote workers actually like to be living and working at our space for the fact that a lot of people are of the same background, meaning they work on similar jobs. Digital, Web3, obviously, blockchain, UX, UI, web development, all that. But when they're not working, obviously they need to do something else, which is sometimes more fun and requires food and people around them. So we try our best to cultivate this user experience, and you can see it from our reviews. But essentially, business was good. We have a lot of traction. We have a lot of reviews. And we actually crowdfunded the second project that is also going to open in a few months on the other side of the city next to the Ping River, hence the name Alt Ping River. So we're going to have a little bit more space, a little bit more rooms, and maybe a few more places down the road in the future. But essentially, yes, if anyone is interested to connect with people and to kind of come to a city with no connection but want to know friends and meet people and talk about your projects and all that, we welcome you to come and check out Alt ChiangMai and Alt Ping River in the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John, for sharing more about Art ChiangMai. So let's welcome our next speaker, OX Coffee from 4Cs.
Hi everyone, I'm OX Garfield. Garfield is my name. I was a radio DJ for 10 years, and yeah, people call me Garfield. That's my name. And I'm the moderator of 4Cs community, and I welcome you all to Chiang Mai, to 4Cs, to BRIC. Yeah, welcome. Because Thailand is so amazing place. You know, every day when I wake up and I search on Google, it pops up a Buddhist year. You know what year it is now? 2566. Yeah. It's so futuristic. I feel like I'm living in the future, very ahead of other futures. So let's talk about how to build a community on the year of 2566. Okay. So, oh yeah, by the way, the Chiang Mai, yeah, sweet CM, you know, I understand the CM in this way, crypto metropolitan. I hope this saying could be popular. Yeah, I know it's a pun. Maybe, yeah, let's do it and make it to a crypto metropolitan. And I'm gonna start with the introduce the. Hey, sorry. Can you turn to the page one? It goes too fast. Okay. No. How to go back? Oh. No. Do you know how to go to page one? I'm gonna introduce the NFT. Yeah. So basically, we're using NFT system on offer for membership. Yeah, remember gambling in Thailand is a no-no, so let's change the poker face into this way. Yeah, that is our NFT. Basically, it's you can find it on OP chain, and it's already minted. To join our 4Cs community, you only need to mint the Clover. Then once you've got your Clover, consider your ticket to Chiang Mai. We all set to welcome our Clover members to live and work in this beautiful city. And we'll serve up all the guidance you need, making sure the greenest of digital nomads can get the hang of the city in a snap. Yeah, that is our beautiful resort. No. Sorry, wait too long. So how many people have been there in the resort? Oh, well, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, our Clover members can even hang out here for free for 1 week, and you can use those beautiful cabins or buildings or public space to have fun, to have your event here. It's 23 minutes from the airport, so if you have any international people from other countries as a digital nomad and come to Chiang Mai, First East community is always welcome to your. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about how the community works with the NFT DID. Yeah, a lot of pictures. Basically, we have you can call that four leaves or lucky clover to govern the community, and that is a mechanism of the community. We call that meta frame. Basically, the governing community should get the fundraising, should get the local node, find a good place like a resort, and onboarding new people to mint the NFT as a member. So a Clover member can get a weekly card, then can stay here, living, co-working here, no matter the local node, where the local node is. I mean, in different countries. And if you have more contribution, you got more room, time, and you may got grants or UBI, CBI to support your work. And you got the public good investment on local node. Yeah, that's our new NFTs on the way. There's 1 week and monthly and daily pass. And we have more plans on different places in the world. Like, yeah, this is the first node. Then we have more plans in Vancouver Island, in Spain, in Istanbul, and Yeah, South America and Kyoto. Yeah, Zik, where is Zik? I'm waiting for Kyoto node. Yeah, and there's another thing. Maybe you have already showed the picture, so you know tonight. I mean, there is a after party in this beautiful resort. So the people who didn't never been there, you are welcome to be in the after party. We offer buffet for free from 6 to 8. So welcome. And there is an open mic. You can share your music, your voice, your opinion, everything. Yeah. Thank you and welcome to Forces.
Thanks, Gaofei. So, a friend, just welcome to Forces ChiangMai. So let's welcome our next speaker, Bruce from LX DAO, to present EIPS Fund here today.
Thank you, Vanessa. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Bruce from LX DAO, and I'm the project manager of EIPS Fund. And I'm very happy to bring it to you guys today. Before we go into that project, I would like to explain what is EIP. So what are EIPs and why do they matter? EIP stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposals, describes standards for Ethereum platform. But we think EIPs are more than standards. They are connecting the entire system, including Ethereum Foundation, Ethereum blockchain, developer, writer, technical startups, etc. So, but the connection are weak because you can check the standards. You may find a lot of jargons, technical terms, and the code. It's really hard to understand. So therefore, it's insufficient accessibility for general public. And also, for the learning resources, it's really hard to, it's fragmented and inconsistent, which means you need to search, you need to Google. Even though there are a lot of good learning materials, you still need to find or watch on YouTube. And also, there are limited communication between authors, developers, and users. And yes, insufficient infrastructure for efficient EIP adoption. Like there is hard to find grants for your EIP application or something like that. So therefore, EIP's Fund becomes the layer 2 of the EIP ecosystem to make the connection wider and easier. So therefore, we have 4 main parts of the project, which are website, community, newsletter, and grants. So speaking about the website, you can consider it as an extended version of the official website. So we provided a better UI UX and advanced EIP search feature to help you to easy to find what you need. And also speaking for the specific EIP details, we aggregate high quality content come from community, including the adopted projects, code example, and articles, videos, anything useful and valuable to help you to learn and understand this EIP on the page. So it's going to be much more easier to understand and learn. And you may think, you may wondering why not extend the official website from Ethereum Foundation. That's because the official website cannot include irrelevant information like projects or articles, right? Because people may think the Ethereum Foundation endorse this project, which is incorrect. And we think this useful information must be maintained by the community. And also speaking about the community part, EIP's Fund gonna connecting with communities. Like there are some communities in Ethereum is working on different parts. Like we can be the connector between those. For example, we can grab the discussion from the Ethereum edition forum and show it on the details page. And also, we can put the interview videos from Ethereum headers, the puja with authors on the details page. Also, we can put the events on the newsletter so people will know where to go to find the latest information, join the discussion in the EIP editor meetings. Yeah, And the third thing is EIP's fun newsletter. It's good. It's good to help you to stay updated with the community. We have generated 3 issues. So in short, we have like EIP updates, which show the latest updates from the editor meetings and yeah, some events like that. So sometimes the events are 1 hour or even longer, so you don't have to like join the meeting. We will list the key points takeaway in here. And also speaking for the EIP of the week, we will provide the insights for the hottest topic of the EIP. Like for example, recently, ETH Global Hackathon, they are promoting ERC 6551. So we provided insights for this EIP and also provided some projects based on it. And another part is like anecdotes, which will give you some funny story or interesting history about Ethereum. Like for example, for this week, we found a conversation between SolValid and Vitalik on Twitter, talk about the account abstraction in the beginning of the Ethereum. So yeah, so we will list here to help you to know more history and story about Ethereum. Yeah, it's free completely. So feel free to subscribe on the official website. The funny part and the most exciting part is EIP's grants, because we recognize the requirements that from the EIP-based successful projects, EIP's authors, Ethereum Foundation organizations, they have the requirement to promoting some EIPs at some time, right? So before that, it's really hard to share the information, or the supporters won't be able to get the grants easily. After that, we are planning to build the EIP-based grants pool, which might be a smart contract. So in the future, the donors, they can put the grants donation into the grants pool, and then we will distribute it to those EIP supporters, like new startup based on this EIP, tech writers, EIP authors, and their editors who contributed to this EIP and the ecosystem. Like for example, for ERC 721, which is the NFT ERC, so the successful projects like OpenSea, Blur, or some marketplaces, they have the requirement to see the EIP 721 ecosystem growing, more developers develop NFT tools, and more new EIPs based on the EIP 721 to extend the ability, right? So they can put their money in it and share with those supporters. So it's gonna be a bridge between the EIP grantors, builders, startups, authors, etc. And it's gonna grow EIP ecosystem with actual funding and grants. You can consider it as another version of the Gitcoin grants. Yeah, so our vision is to serve as the layer 2 of EIP ecosystem, so simplifying and accelerating the adoption of EIP. And this project is co-initiated by AlexDAO and Plonker DAO. AlexDAO is R&D focused DAO in Web3, focused on supporting the public goods and open source project. So the majority of us are developers. Plonker is a group of people dedicated to building Ethereum ecosystem in Asia. And we also have some advisors like Victor Zhou, who is the EIP editor, and some EIP authors to help us to build the content and provide advice. And yeah, so EIP's fund is a completely open source and community-driven project, which means everyone who is interested in this project can join us and join the weekly meeting and provide a pull request. Speaking about the progress and the roadmap, in the past Q2, we have finished the website, the newsletter process, and to start creating newsletters. So in the Q3, we will design the EIP's grants with many experts from Gitcoin and from other organizations together. And also, we're gonna need to promote this project. So we really need funding a lot of operators. So if you are interested, you recognize the value of EIP and interested in this project, also has good English communication skills, feel free to reach me out after this meeting. Yeah, as a public goods, we accept grants and donations. So if you have interest, you can like send some token to our safe wallet. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today's presentation. Feel free to join our Telegram group. And yeah, any questions if you have, or no questions? No, if no question, I'll pass to the next one. Right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bruce. So let's welcome the next speaker, Jason and Jaden. They both from Soul Wallet.
Okay. Thanks, Vanessa. And I'm Jason Zhao. Yeah.
I'm Jaden. We both are from Plunker.
So it's like a talk show, maybe. All in one, actually. So you take this one. And I have a small investigation for everyone here. Do you hold over 1.0.1 Ethereum? Or we can call it ETH. Do you hold in your wallet? Everyone, do you have your?
Could I understand, do I have any digit?
Yeah. We call this Ethereum, you know, ETH or anything. I don't know. You can check your wallet and tell me, do you hold over 0.1? Yeah? You do not have? Disappointed. Okay, so let's begin. And first we talk about the Plunker community. Some guy calls this Plunker DAO, but I don't think it's just on the way. And this was a community which focused on build something like public goods or something infrastructure on the Ethereum. Yeah, we are just builders, you know, a product manager or some operation guys want to build something based on the Ethereum. Yeah, it's a 2022 anniversary. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
At Plunker, we focus on creating public goods for the Ethereum ecosystem. We believe in the power of communication and collaboration, working alongside other Ethereum builders to achieve shared goals. In fact, the picture you see on the screen is from a recent technical meetup we organized in Zuzalo. And this Jason Zhao. Yeah. This is me, the only man behind Vitalik. Yeah. So maybe we need a camera.
We have many questions, like technical question, technical detail, to talk with the Ethereum community. The picture is taken and happened in the Zuzalo community event. You know, we just appointed Vitalik and EF and some guys like Safe Wallet and many layer 2 guys to talking about this. Yeah. And the only man behind Vitalik, the man behind Vitalik. Yeah. Okay. So we can check next. everyone guy may be curious about what's a so wallet. It's a wallet. It's an account abstraction implementation like ERC for 37. And I want to tell you a truth that happened about 3 months ago. Yeah, we raised fundraising for the 3 millions. You can check the list. Many guys is not the funding organization or institutions. It's just individual guys. You know, we want to build something for the Ethereum community, not be controlled by the business. So have a small idea to transfer to you. Maybe it's right. Learn, try, build. Learn, try, build. Within your community, in the Ethereum community, it seems very easy, but it's just the true feeling of a totally over 1 year building in Ethereum community. Yeah.
Now, let's discuss what we can offer to you. Firstly, we encourage you to embark to on a learning journey. Blockchain technology can be complex, especially for those without a technical background. Therefore, focusing on learning the fundamentals is crucial.
Yeah, it's my turn. You know, the first is just encourage you to embark the building. But secondly, I think we urge you to put into or jump into the building. You know, the practice may give you the real answer of the what you are learning or thinking that from the technical scenario or docs or anything else. So the second, we urge you to build. Once you have acquired some knowledge or technical detail, just build something, show to your community or to, I don't know, if you want to run to the hackathon or like this event, just show your idea, your demo in this crypto open event. You may get not only the feedback of a production, but also many things. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Lastly, there's the opportunity to earn. As you make progress, you may receive grants, hackathon bounties, or investment opportunities. However, it's important to note that success may require deep thinking and a keen understanding of Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah. Let me check my documents. Sorry. The picture is want to convey to the information component. Yeah. Because if you want to build something based on the Ethereum or any blockchain, you must learn the conception of components or composable. Yeah. Like we are just building on the ERC 437 EIP to enhance the future of the mass adoption of the adoption capacity. Capability of the Ethereum. You know, it's just it's not only a module of the account, but you must be composable with the whole Ethereum community competence. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's do something really amazing now. If we think the future from now, account abstraction is like a foreseeable feature. So let's use our imagination. account abstraction will give us the ability to have modular wallets, like So Wallet, which offers endless possibilities through modules and plugins. User can add features such as daily spending limits, 2FA, and automated transactions to their wallets. As Layer 2 become widely adopted and even L3 comes into play, the modular wallet is going to get even more interesting. The wallet can support plug-in-based user interface, with the wallet handling the processing and the display of the UX.
Yeah. So it's maybe seemed complicated, but we can tell you an example. If you want to build something, it's an open source infrastructure of based on smart contract. If you want to build something like a 2FA, you just write a module, a secure module. If you want to build a new wallet, and the user, you want to transfer the scenario, like every transaction, you must give me a 2FA. You know 2FA? It's just your computer want to transfer your file to another one, and you must send your fingerprint to your mobile. It's a second factor authentication. Yeah. So we have the basement for the structure to implement everything you want. It's just based on the module. And if you want to enter the third-party module, just follow our more detail at the end of the, the slide. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. Nothing. Now, account abstraction wallet not just an app anymore. It's become an OS. Anyone can develop applications based on this OS. I call this OS next generation wallet.
Wow, maybe it's end. So we are both engineer. Maybe maybe a little nervous, but we want to show you. For contract wallet users, maybe you can jump into this group. Yeah, someone guy tell me maybe we have an airdrop, and if for A wallet builders, you can join this group. It's an open community for A star Telegram group. So. Thank you, everyone. That's all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason and Jaden. Let's give them more plot. Okay, one more, please. Oh, what a wonderful presentation indeed. So now, let's welcome Michelle. He's a founder of P2P Foundations.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Let's see if that works. Where do I point to? Where's the... Over there? Okay. Sorry. So let me just maybe tell you a bit why I'm here. So I've been living in Chiang Mai for 20 years. I'm from, whoops, and I still don't speak Thai, so I'm not proud of that. Although I'm married and I have 2 kids here. I'm also from Belgium, if that's interesting. We had riots yesterday in Brussels. So this is a quiet place here in Chiang Mai. And I've been asked by the network behind Planker, etc., to coordinate research efforts around mutual coordination. And so this is basically what I want to talk about. It's not a technological story that I'm telling you, but I'm basically want to invite you to think about the idea of when are we, right? So is where are we? We're in Chiang Mai. But when are we? Because that's very important. Like the amount of freedom you have, the kind of ideas that are popular are very much related to certain cycles that exist in human society. And so I would invite you to think about human history as a long-term struggle between coordination systems. So the most basic way to think about it is that, this, by the way, this is from Michael Hudson, The Destiny of Civilization. I think it's a really interesting book. He basically looks at the history of civilization as a struggle between the Eurasian continental imperial model, so China, basically, but also Persia, etc., and the Western model. And so his thesis is the following. So in the imperial model, you have a centralized authority, and the state it's a state-centric system which keeps the market under the state, right? And it's based on the idea of harmony. So if, for example, in Thailand, I'm sure, I don't know how many Thai people are here, but if I'm guessing a lot of people here are more from the Chinese diaspora. So for example, in Thailand, people will really look at your face not to upset you, right? So everything is about how do I not upset you. And I've heard, I'm not sure that's true, but I heard that monks, for example, can recognize like 80 different emotions. You know, it's like Eskimos with snow, right? So Europeans, we know like 2 or 3 types of snow, but Eskimos will know like many, many types of snow and ice because it's important to them. And so anyway, so harmony seeking is a very important cultural value in these types of societies. In Greece, I'm not sure what the date is, but the creditor class came to power. So basically the people who lend you money came to power. And that created a revolution, which was the Greek city-state and Greek democracy, right? So on the western side of the Eurasian continent, you have a maritime-based, trade-based, market-centric, antagonistic but more democratic society. So for example, in Rome you had the tribunate, which was a fixed institution representing the people that could negotiate with the patricians, with the ruling creditor class, right? So this is kind of a very long-term struggle between market-centric societies and more state-centric societies, right? And in the 16th century, basically it shifted to European hegemony under the market-centric ideologies, right? And nowadays, I think this is first thing we see a return of the state. I think a lot of libertarians believe the state is dying, but I'm not sure that's the case. Actually, there is a very strong push in China, in Russia, to restore and strengthen the control of the state, right? And so to put it a bit in a almost caricature way, but you can be an oligarch in China without the agreement of the state, and you can't be a president in the US without the agreement of capital. You know, just to exaggerate a little bit the difference between the two, right? Now, I would argue that there's something very new today, and that's what you represent. And this is, we are inventing a third coordination system. And that third coordination system is mutual coordination in open ecosystems, and I'll use a bit of a difficult word, in holoptical systems. Right, so think about open source, think about Wikipedia, think about the open ecosystems in crypto. What's different? The difference is that you can see what everybody else is doing outside of market pricing and outside of planning, right? So this is the new things. And I want to say a little word about accounting. So accounting is very important because it's how we see the world and how we look at resources and the allocation of resources in the world. So the first accounting ledger is a stone tablet that was found in Sumeria. I'm not sure exactly, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. And it was basically a temple which regulated the flow of grain inside and outside of the temple, right? So accounting is the origin of the state, right? I don't know if you know this book, Against the Grain. It's very interesting, by James Scott. He says, in order to have a state, you need grain or wheat because it's above ground and it can be counted and it can be taxed. And he wrote another book about Zumia, which is where you live here. This is Zumia. Is that the mountain peoples in the Himalayas, in Tibet, up to here in Thailand, remained very independent of the state because they would not grow rice, but they would grow root food, which cannot be seen by the tax officials. Right? So just to say that there is a linkage between accounting, the ability to count, the ability to tax, and so to fund state forms that create, you know, a new layer above the people who are actually producing the food and producing stuff, right? Okay. The second innovation in accounting was in the 14th century, a Franciscan monk, I think his name was Lucio Paci, and he invented double entry book accounting. And that's the invention of the market, in a way, right? I mean, not market existed before, but of a kind of market-centric vision of the world. But please note that in double entry book accounting, you have no idea of the ecosystem. The thing you're seeing is, am I getting richer? Is my company making more money? Am I getting more capital, right? So you have no idea of impact. You have no idea of non-monetary contributions. So this kind of accounting, I would say, is a kind of narcissistic accounting, right? That creates competition between closed entities. And this has been a dominant model. So in the stuff that you are doing, and maybe you haven't paid attention to this, but there's actually an enormous amount of innovation around accounting. And I'll mention three of them that I did a study in 2018. If you're interested, it's called P2P accounting for planetary survival. So, I can't hear what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know why it's not moving here.
But we can switch it for you.
Okay, yeah, please. So this is the one I want to say something about this one.
Okay, cool.
Right.
You let us know when you want to switch.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll switch it for you.
So let me then just finish what I was saying about accounting. So we now have something called contributory accounting. So this comes from the open source communities, and we did a study already 5-6 years ago called P2P value. We studied 300 what we call peer production communities. So in other words, communities where people can come in and out and they create a common resource. Open code, design, or open content like Wikipedia. All right, okay, thank you. And 70% of these communities already then had contributory accounting. What it means is that you can recognize people who contribute to the network but are not creating market value. Right? This is new. There were no systems that could do that. So now you can say, for example, you have a collection of translators. I have friends like that, Guerrilla Translation. They translate from English to Spanish and vice versa. And they do it for free. So they translate these types of things around the open source. So when they get a contract, let's say 2 people get a contract paid to translate a book. So what they do is everybody knows the number of characters they translate for free. And when somebody makes money, they keep 15% for the second accounting system, right? So you can start actually recognizing the value of people who are not recognized by the market, but actually are creating real value for the community. So that's contributory accounting. Flow accounting. So there is a system called REA, resources, events, agents. It has no double entry, but everything you do is visible in the ecosystem. So any transaction tells you what resource is moving, the event, so I agree with you to exchange something, and the agents, you and me, right? So that means that in this kind of accounting, you have open ecosystemic accounting. Okay, then the third one is thermodynamic accounting. The ability to see flows of matter and energy in real time, right? Because now we have a system which doesn't see the impact it has on the environment. So we are blind to our impact. With, I know I only have 15 minutes, I'll try to keep it to 20 minutes. So I just want to tell you these things exist and have been developed in these types of communities. And so here's what I'm saying. We are building the technology for a future that will be, and this is maybe a bit more controversial, but common-centric. So what does it mean? We have the state, which manages resources for everyone, for the public good or the common good, at least in theory, right? Then we have the market, which allocates scarce goods according to price. And you can look at history as a cyclic and pulsation between extractive periods where the state and the market grow and do their job well. They reach a peak and then they start declining. In the moments of decline, what you see is that people are restoring their commons. So what is a commons? It's a shared resource that is managed by a community according to their own rules. So the mountain flanks in Switzerland, in Austria, and Japan are commons. Open source code is a commons. A co-op is a commons, right? Okay, so this is my argument, is that we are creating the tools to basically manage the global commons. And I use a word for this, the cosmolocalism. So what does it mean? Everything that is heavy is local. And everything that is light is global and shared. So imagine a system where you have more local production closer to where you are. So you probably know this. We spend 2/3 more energy and matter to transport and to making. So localization is something very important, and it's actually already happening. So as you know, the global system is now splitting in two. The technological stack is splitting in two. The supply chains are splitting in two, and the financial system are splitting in two, right? Because people are becoming risk aware. First of all, China and US hegemony, that's very important. This, and of course Ukraine with Russia, but also because resources are becoming more scarce. So there is an increasing struggle to access resources, right? This increases the risk in the global system, and the result is today that we have already had peak globalization a few years ago, and we are now developing two competing systems that are basically the two coalitions behind the Ukraine conflict, right? And more countries in the global south are choosing the Russia-China axis rather than the Western axis. This is the moment we live in. But so this is very important. Both the state and the market compete for scarce resources, whether it's for their nation or for their company, right? And this is very dangerous when we have scarce resources. This leads to war. So the ability to create a common understanding at a global scale, to create global commons that can protect resources and nature is becoming more and more important. So anyway, so what is new today, and I'll close with this because I can't talk too long, but what is new today is that we are inventing non-territorial coordination. This is the key. We didn't have this before. We had local coordination, we had markets and states, where we didn't have open global coordination capacity. It just didn't exist as a technological capacity. And so now this is, I think, what is happening politically. So we have global and centralized versus local. And we have for-profit models and not for-profit models. Please note, I not say non-profit. So non-profit is you cannot make money. Not for-profit means you can make money, but that's not your aim. So the profit that you generate is used for other goals, right? Okay, so the first thing we have is netarchical capitalism. These are the new platforms, Facebook, Uber, Airbnb, that present a peer-to-peer interface, but actually are hyper-centralized internally, right? And they are now the new dominant companies in our capitalist system, right? So I call this somewhat provocatively Proudhonian capitalism. I tell you why. So Marx said money comes from surplus of labor. Proudhon said, no, it comes from our ability to work together. So by working together, we create a surplus. So what are these companies doing? They let us work together, and they tax our cooperation. This is a new business model. This is how you get investment today, not by making things. That made China great, but that's kind of over. Now you make money in this quadrant, right? This is where you get the major investments. Maybe you are more here, right? Distributed capitalism. So this is the crypto world. So for profit, but distributed. Then you have this world, and I did a study on this in the city of Ghent. So these are local commons. This is how people in cities are now organizing themselves to get renewable energy, organic food, and many things that are difficult to get by the market or the state. So we had 50 projects in Ghent in 2008, and in 2016 there were 500. So this is a tenfold increase in local urban commons, and people are doing this everywhere. And finally, we have the global commons, which is, the global open source communities. So where crypto comes in, I think, is kind of like a hybrid solution that tries to marry the advantages of those three. Does that make sense? So you're creating global commons because you share a lot of your code is open source. There's a lot of decentralization, localization, but also crypto has succeeded to create an income and an economy for open source production that did not exist before, right? Because what happened before was, and this is a paradox, and so the more communistic your license, the more capitalistic the practice, right? So pure open source licensing allows big companies to come in, and they will use and dominate the open source communities. Okay, so I think probably I said enough. I just want to say a word about network states and digital nomads to end. So network state is kind of the idea that these types of communities are creating their own institutions, right? So you have market institutions, state institutions, but we are building something different. We are building non-territorial institutions, and it will be interesting to see how we interact at the global level. And okay, digital nomads. I want to say a word about digital nomads. I think the one danger that the crypto world represents is digital selfism, right? So the idea, okay, the world goes to crap, but we will survive because we are building all these tools so that we can travel around. And when there's a riot in Brussels, I can go to Chiang Mai. And when when this country implodes, we can move around, right? I think it's to think that way, but it's also a very dangerous way. I think in the end, dominant if it doesn't have the care for the whole population, right? And of course, I see a lot of good signs, like the fact that Ethereum moved towards proof of stake, right, which shows an ecological motivation, and then the public goods work shows that there is a motivation within Ethereum to do more than just working for the exodus of the digital few. And so I would urge you, you probably know that there are sociologists saying we have the nowheres and the somewheres, right? So this is the struggle of the day. At the end of the Roman Empire, you had the Romans, the pagans and the Christians. In the Reformation, we had the Catholics and the Reformation. Now it's the culture war. This is the civil war, a global civil war that pits the cognitive class against the physical class. And the biggest danger is that this split continues. And so the nowheres, what do you mean by the cognitive class? As educated people who can move around, work on their computers, and can liberate themselves from the constraints of place, while uneducated people are bound to place. They cannot escape. So they are more anti-neoliberal, they're more anti-global trade. They want to return to the nation. This is right-wing populism. So the working class is now voting to the right. And the urbanites are voting for progressive parties. And this is a very dangerous development. And so the nowheres, this is us, yeah, people who can go anywhere. I would suggest we become everywheres. What I mean is that we should be the people connecting the local physical communities with all that knowledge that is being developed at a global scale. We should be at the service of local commons, of people trying to solve their issues around housing, transportation, food. And I think I see a lot of signs that this is happening, but I just want to stress that this is, I think, what you should be thinking about. And I know that in the documents of your groups, you actually write about the connection with the local community. So I think, I'm not criticizing from the outside, but I think this is very important. That you don't become a hated elite, right? This is very important. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, it was too long. No, it's okay. Thank you, Michelle, for your valuable insights. Our next speaker is Ken Wei, Splunk contributor and co-founder of XHash. Welcome, Ken Wei.
Thank you, Vanessa. As we know, the Ethereum has transferred from the POW to POS, and it's actually caused some problems for some projects. Because right now a lot of Ether has been staked on the Bitcoin chain. So Howard and I did some research about that. And the II is a project that is a stable coin project, but it's backed by the native Ether. And it's a very important project, I think, because the exchange rate is determined by supply and demand. It's not a fixed rate. And so it will not related to the US dollars. And the supply and demand mechanism is used the PID control theory. And the so the Vitalik thinks maybe it's a pure ideal type of collateralized automation stablecoin that's just backed by only by the Ether. So it's a very good project, but it's have a main problem is right now because the ETH staking provide almost maybe 5% APR, so the RAI need to compete with that. So that means if I'm a Ether holder, I can stick my Ether into RAI and mint the RAI stable coin, or I can choose to join the ETH staking project and get a more stable 5% APR. That's why and less people to choose to mint the RAI. That's the major problem they made right now. So Vitalik gave us a solution about how to fix this. The major idea is we just create, maybe we can create a copy of ladle, and so let other people who can create the CDPs and stick those funds, then settle the res oracle as the sticky key. That means because right now the res price is provided by the oracle, outside oracle, so we trust oracle. So that means we still can trust the oracle as the validator operator. But that is the problem is if you use the oracle as the validator operator, it's not a professional operator, so it's may let the validator offline, so maybe cause some loss. And Vitalik's another solution is instead of staking key belong to the oracle, the sticky can be split into two parts. The first one is the P and another is the Q. And so the Q can transfer to the oracle. And the P part is the key held by the CDP holder. It's basically a 2-of-2 DVT solution. So Howard and I did some research about that, and we think maybe we can give a better solution to fix this. So our basic idea is use the DKG and DVT and RCO to let the native stick the Ether as a res CDP. So I just give a brief introduction about, for example, DVT is dividend the validator key into multiple keys shares. And so the validator can give this share to a lot of operators. So not only one operator control this validator. And DKG is another technical based on the DVT. It means the sign key is generated for validator jointly by the operators, but not just one operator or one validator. So the sign key are not known to anyone, including the operators. That's will keep the secret, so no one can control the validator solely. ROC is a random select operator from the DKG process. So the whole solution is we can develop a smart contract to support first the sticker can transfer the Ether to this smart contract. So the smart contract can calculate the random number to random select operator. And for this, there is two steps. The first one is for solo staker who are willing to run their own staking node. They can run their Ethereum clients and register two operators on the SSV network. And then they choose another two operators that not belonging to them. Actually, the smart contract random select the two operators to match. Okay, the third step is the selected operators execute the DKG calculation to generate the staking key. But no one knows exactly what the staking key is. They just own part of the key shares. And then they can call the deposit contract with this staking key information to stake this Ether actually and set the withdrawal address to this contract. Then the II contract to generate a CDP and mint the RAI. The whole point is no one can control the validator. So the validator can't make can make the for example for 51% attack. So protect the RAI. That's our solution. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kenwei. So now let's have a 15-minute break, okay? Yeah, we can eat waters and drink waters and eat snacks. Have a rest.